Yeah, I'm Bruce Martin. I'm a lecturer at the University College Dublin in Dublin, Ireland. And I teach and research in the area of social entrepreneurship, creativity, and innovation. So it's interesting, the two main authors of the paper have complementary but very different motivations. So I came to this from an interest in disadvantaged groups, but persons with disabilities specifically, who are often inhibited in their career development by lack of opportunities in organizational employment. And so we were looking at entrepreneurship as a career option. And that, of course, led to looking around at the entrepreneurship education literature to find out what do we know about what works for helping people to become entrepreneurs. And I found that literature was quite, equivocal. Didn't really give us that much information, even though there was quite a bit of research on it. And Jeff McNally, the other lead author, was very much focused on management education generally, and had noticed that the entrepreneurship education literature was growing and that it was equivocal, and wouldn't it be interesting to do a meta-analysis to see if we can find some more clear sort of and robust indicators from that literature. And so the two of us got together with those interests. So the meta-analysis is, well, as you know, it's collecting all of the research on a subject, importantly all of that, whether it's published or not. And so that by itself is a big undertaking, making sure that you're very thorough in evaluating that. We ended up with 42 separate studies, sample of over 16,000 respondents, so we ended up with a good-sized meta-analysis, not huge by meta-analysis standards. The main findings would be, not surprisingly, that there is some positive relationship between entrepreneurship education and entrepreneurship outcomes, both human capital outcomes and entrepreneurial performance. They're relatively small relationships. But we do know from the study that there's also a lot of moderators at play there, most of which we weren't able to try to draw out. But there, so the number one finding would be that there was a positive relationship between entrepreneurship education and specific outcomes for human capital related to entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship performance. Another area of interest is that it showed that on academic-focused entrepreneurship, the kind of university courses you might find in entrepreneurship, had a stronger relationship with entrepreneurship performance than did training-focused entrepreneurship education. And so that's interesting because it has implications for what overall implications are interesting, because there is a great deal of resource applied to entrepreneurship education around the world right now. So from government, public policy, institutional resources, it's confirmation that those are broadly well-used resources. On the second side, it's interesting to see that although there's a great deal of sort of training-focused entrepreneurship, that we might be doing our students better service if we ensure that they get the kind of conceptual, theoretical learning about entrepreneurship, so that they can apply that more generally across a wide variety of contexts. The study, first of all, I have to say it's preliminary. So our number one finding is that really that the entrepreneurship education literature at that point had far too many studies of relatively low rigor. In fact, we found a clear relationship between study rigor and the levels of outcomes, with low rigor studies suggesting that relationship was higher. So they kind of overstate the relationship. And so we don't draw too many emphatic conclusions from that, right? But we can say that sort of academic-focused entrepreneurship education, where you get a real understanding of entrepreneurship theory as well as the practice, is something that would be worth investing time in.